The help came flooding in back in May when the wildfires in Alberta cost so many people in Slave Lake their homes and possessions. But some of the goods donated by people in Calgary have now been found in a landfill. Erin Collins explains. Erin, tell us what happened here.
Well, Carol, this all started earlier this week with a fellow by the name of Paul Nielsen. Now, Paul runs a junk hauling company here in town. He was making a pretty ordinary run to the dump earlier this week when, as he was unloading his load, he sort of looked over to the side and he noticed a large pile of boxes that didn't really seem to belong. He's been doing this job for about a decade, so he kind of knows what's junk and what's not. Now, he took a closer look and he saw that all these boxes were labeled as donations for Slave Lake, and he opened up the boxes, looked inside. There was nice new clothing, many still with the tags from local stores on it. There was video games that had been packed up for kids. And he made the assumption, obviously, that these were in the dump or in the landfill by mistake. He went and asked the folks that run the landfill if they could pull them out. They said no, it was against procedure, and that's something that really upset Paul. Here's what he had to say about that.
It was a perfect example of altruistic acts that a bunch of people got together and said, hey, we need to help these people like Calgarians do. This is what we're known for. And it ends up in the landfill, crushed by a dozer. I mean, they deserve better.
How did it end up in a landfill? Do we know?
Yeah, it's kind of a long story. We did some digging on this yesterday, and so did Paul, actually. He was fairly upset by this, as you can kind of hear in that clip. And it started out, actually, these items were gathered by a local oil company. They put the packages together and initially tried to send them to the Red Cross to be sent up to Slave Lake. The Red Cross, however, was only taking cash donations. So it ended up with a woman by the name of Melissa Gunning, who's from the Slave Lake area originally, lives down here in Calgary. She took it upon herself to collect sort of all of the stuff that was being donated that wasn't money, and sending it up herself. So she sent several semi-trailers full of these donations up to Slave Lake, and at a certain point, the folks in Slave Lake said, enough, we can't take anymore. People were very generous, obviously, and so she then tried to distribute this stuff to local charities in Calgary. This isn't her job. She was just sort of trying to pitch in, and after a couple months of trying to get rid of this stuff, she hired another local junk company that promised to sort of sort the stuff out, see what was sort of junk and could be thrown away, and what could be given away to local charities, and she sort of left it with that company. Now, obviously, some of this stuff did end up in the landfill, some good stuff, and it's something that certainly upset Melissa Gunning. This is what she has to say about that.
I'm very upset about it. It wasn't our intention. Our intention this entire time was to help out people in need, local or Slave Lake. I want it to go to somebody. If somebody's willing to donate something, I would hope that it goes to somebody in need.
Now, Melissa was contacted, or first she contacted the company that she hired, and then she got a call back. And this company says they actually went around to several local charities here in Calgary, and none of them would take the items. Either they were full, they didn't have storage space or storage capacity, or it wasn't the appropriate items for the given charity. So that company says they had no choice but to take this stuff to the landfill and dump it there. So a bit of an odd end to what began as a very generous act.
That's Erin Collins reporting from Calgary. Thank you, Erin.
You bet.